Figured it out. Yeah. Done did it now. Done did it now. Done did it now. I said I was gonna make it more consistent. Hit the fuck out of here. So at least one is down, you know what I mean? My brain be going all kinds of weird old, places and all kinds of whatnots. But I'm here, baby. So what I wrote down this time was, I can't be some with the arrow. Was, but not if it's tainted, right? So I've been looking at a lot of stuff lately and what's been going on. And I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks to witness that the world is going the way it's going. And I'm seeing as the many people that you know, I, I figure would be, let's say for instance, like I used to always rag on, not really rag on them, but I just always thought it was hilarious that, like, a lot of dudes thought that wrestling was real. A lot of dudes thought that, uh, every, thing they did was legit. And I would say the same thing, what I mean? Yeah, it's not real. It is real to a certain degree. It's staged. Just like I'm really truly seeing that the world is fully up, stacked up with a whole full crew, crew members, and it's staged. How unfortunate. Um, so what is real, you know? And I don't know if I want it because and I'm not saying that because I'm getting this out now because it's tricky for me because I've never been the type to really give up on anything like that. Like, I'll give up if it's necessary to give up, then I'll give up. But if I feel like if it's something to fight for, then I work through it. I'll do what I can to make it happen. But when I feel this energy of this tug and pull on something that I feel like I could be doing, but when I look out into the world and I see what the world really is for, and I wasn't really prepared for how ridiculously interesting this place is when it comes to the people on it, and how you never really know what you could be getting yourself into. So stepping inside of into an organization, a building, signing your name next to a logo, all of it seems even more scary than it did before because, let's just say you want to go do something, you sign a contract, you do business, you shake hands, you plan to make bank, you know what I'm saying? And because what I'm getting is, I always felt that, there was just still certain things other than something like wrestling. I thought that was the extent of it. And of course, acting, and that's obvious, is of course, we're used to knowing that that's not a real thing, even though some people have a hard time distinguishing the difference. But I had no idea, that there were going to be more factions that have a play scripted and ready to be set up. Because, like, okay, so example, like, I like to watch, boxing. And I already had this concept in my head of, like, you have no reason, no legit reason as a man to really be watching other men play sports and all that stuff. But because I was so intrigued, so interested, so invested, and I felt it was good for defense, it was good for cardio, it was good for, confidence in meeting women, it was good for, just trying to find myself, find philosophy, try to, fit in, and, things like that. So I was interested, I was invested. And so it's like martial arts in general, not just boxing. I'm just using boxing as an example because I was always interested in it before really MMA, because MMA wasn't really as big, you know, at the time. And so boxing was a thing. Even though that was, especially at the time I started watching it, when all the cool shit was over with, you know what I mean? It wasn't really like popping like that. So, you know, I still was interested. I still thought it was cool that, people could do what they do, and I've always thought that I could do what they do. You know what I'm saying? If not better, you know. I feel like I always had those issues, anger issues, and all this stuff, and I always try to find like healthy ways to like deal with it. And so, but now that I'm looking flash forward to today, because like I said, let's say in boxing, I figured, okay, there's some people that, take a dive. But when I realized the level of, you know, like in boxing, like, I heard, you get taxed for belts. Uh, you know, people will, drive a narrative more. I thought, because like I was even saying that, it's just like, I figured it would be more of a, hey, your trainer said, come on, man, like, I got a baby on the way. I got this going on. My house about to get foreclosed. We got to figure out something to do. Dude, if you just take this fall this time, I spoke to the dude, whomever the dude is. I spoke to the man. He wants us to, and if you could just do this for me, bite the bullet, man. Just bite the bullet. We can get this done, get this cash, move on. And that'd be a thing. And, you said we ain't never going to do it again. I just need it now. I placed too many bets. I did too many things. I just need you to just take this dive, and get it in so we can get this money. That would make more sense to me. Like, it's still, like, but it makes more sense to me for that to be a situation, and that's how I see things in my head. That's how things play out. You just have certain moments. This is how things are. You just have certain moments. This is how people are. But what I'm hearing now is like, you know, there's no, oh, we just doing this and we hoping for the best. It's we know who we want to be here. And you would think even in a sport like boxing or MMA or things like that, that it would be a little difficult to be a little difficult to stage it and make it look legit. And so I'm saying this is I didn't ever want to get caught up in the mix of doing certain things and not be prepared for it fully because like I said, I noticed, a lot of things, you know, because these people saying they working so hard and doing all this stuff, and then you see how they live, and then you hear the real stories, and you hear later on that they don't actually work that hard. They don't do all the stuff that they say they do. You know, it's just weird, and so that's why I put not if it's tainted. It's hard to want to be a part of something, even for a dream. It's difficult to want to be a part of something, knowing what you could potentially get yourself into and what you pretty much have to go through, and when your life could change on a dime just because somebody knows what you know, somebody knows who you know, somebody just don't want to see you exist no more. You never know, and that's just scary as fuck. Because like other than knowing that some people, are locked in and they have to call, they have to answer to certain individuals, and like I said, I'm in my head. That is never an option in my. That is not an option in my head to like for the rest of my life in some way, shape, or form be obligated to anyone, let alone another man. It's just an odd concept. And that's why I'm at where I'm at now, because it's like, as a good example, when it comes to, because not everybody can just, pick up something and just make it happen for themselves. But when it comes to music, you know, how, how easy, but these men go in thinking that they'll have a good grip on what they're getting themselves into, and you don't know how much these people got themselves just wrapped up in the worst situations. But they know, they have an idea of what it's gonna be like. They know what they're getting themselves into, and these people get dumped on their heads because it ain't what you think it is. They think just you know, just pick it up. You know what I'm saying? Just it's easy to just. It's people that want to, you know what I'm saying, do stuff to you. They want to have your whole. It's like, it's not easy. It's never gonna be easy when you know you can't just go make it on your own. Not everybody can just, so there's always gonna be something dangling in front of you. I just find that as a wild concept. You can't catch a break. These people, like, you don't get the opportunity to ever say, no matter how much money you make, no matter what you got going on, that you did it yourself. Like I said, not everybody can just pick up a mic and know that they're gonna be secure. But you got these labels out here that go, hey, you ain't gotta worry about all that. Come over here, we'll take care of you. Like, that concept is just unworth. Like, I just. And I'm noticing a big thing too, other than all of that, is that a lot of people say that the reason why they have a hard time with doing stuff like this is because, like, they don't really have any content. Like, the hardest part is just making content. Like, it's just having something to say, you know. So it seems to me that it's not really a like a money issue. It's not really a getting girls issue. It's not a really, just a confidence. Try to, it's a creativity issue. I'm noticing is that these people are not as creative as they'd like to think they are. Down to people that can't get out of sports. Like, they can't get out of rap. Contractually or creatively, they can't push themselves past it. Even Eminem said it's the only thing that I'm good at. You know what I'm saying? And I used to have that sit in my head a lot too. Like, that, man, yeah, this thing that I do right now is the only thing that I'm good at too. That means that's the only thing I'm ever gonna be good at. And it's like, and I see these dudes now that do just sports or just rap, just this, and they can't get out of it. Or they, with a dude like Cam Newton hurting, he trying to, do all this extra stuff and do all this new stuff to get on a podcast because he ain't got nothing else to do and he getting up there. And he ain't got no creativity. So he's trying to do all this extra, be this extra. I've seen it to where, dudes get on and they think they got to do like more than what they need to. They can't just be themselves. They gotta try to be like certain people that don't exist in their world, in their mind, like, at all. Like, I see so many people trying to be like people they would probably shit on. Like, you see how he like you know what I'm saying? You see what he look like nowadays. Like, it's just like, you ain't that dude. You're not that dude, and that's why, regardless of your numbers, it's just not a right fit for you. Like, you trying to be weird and quirky, and you're not a weird and quirky dude. So you gotta get somebody that's, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go get people to style your hair to make it look crazy. You gotta go get people to put on crazy looking clothes to make it look like you this wildly intellectual masterclass mindset type, you know what I'm saying? You just far off in the fucking ether type dude. And we know you just been playing, football for the last 15, 20 years. And getting it in real good, you know what I mean? It's like, and that's terrible. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the hardest thing for these people to do is be creative. To have creativity. Always have a new avenue. Have that championship mindset in anything. And not just, oh, I do this, so this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my days. So yeah, I think that's, you know what I'm saying? People get stuck. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing this more of an issue is that, when it comes to all things. When I see people trying to raise their kids, they ain't got no creativity. They just think, well, money will fix it. This will fix it. This material will fix it. You know what I mean? It's like if you start cultivating up here more and start trying to cultivate out here, you know, that's the biggest thing is that people, when I see individuals attempt to teach, train really, they're training people. I think everybody in this world is a trainer. They train people, but they're not teachers. I think if they could sit and take a second and teach people. But in order to teach, you have to know nothing. You have to know in yourself first. You have to conquer all your insecurities, your demons, your whatever's first. You have to go within here into the nothing first. Once you go there and you get that figured out, then you can hop on and teach all you want. Because this don't mean much of nothing. And that's the issue that a lot of people have is, that they don't have the patience, the time, the capacity to sit and actually meditate and work on shadow work on, do all this stuff to come to terms to be able to teach. Period. Let's start there. Teach, not train, not regurgitate, not give trash advice. Solid knowledge to be able to benefit your life in an exponential way. Solid advice, and I think that's, and because they don't do the shadow work, because they don't do it. I know I didn't want to become like one of those dudes, being one of them bitter. I don't want to be bitter. You know what I mean? I don't want to not love women. I love women. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It ends there. I love women. All the ins and outs of it. And so I don't want to be a bitter dude. So when you sit as a bitter man, you sit as a person in a podcast, knowing what you've done, and knowing that only certain things will get you ratings, and you sit there with that type of mentality, with that rhetoric, and that space, you're only doomed to fail. Still speaking on Cam Newton, if he could figure out that part, his show would do all right. But they're too bitter, you know. Like I said, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that dude. They can't pull from a good place because the soil ain't right. They can't pull from a good. The garden is tainted. Is no good. They can't come from a good heart, good space when they speak, and that's what fucks them over. They can't they struggle. And so once you and especially at that age when you start getting up there, and now you trying to flip the whole game in your head, That's why I'm saying I see a lot of issues with people, with that creativity thing. It's just like, man, you still got that chip on your shoulder from your people, from your parents, from your, you know what I'm saying, from your cousin at one time. You still ain't figured that out when that one chick slapped the shit out you, or she gave you whatever. She did that thing to you. You ain't like it, and now you can't let go of it. Goddamn leg falling asleep. Now you can't. Now you can't be at peace with yourself alone. You know. You more worried about trying to figure out how to get your call back. You know what I'm saying? They have trouble being creative because they're not clearing their space enough to be creative, to have something to talk about, to give real shit. They, you know, it's just, yeah, man, just coming from a real free space because you chose to go deep, clean, not even deep. You just chose to go within to clean, you know? That, and to me, it's a step by step process of what makes me feel at ease, what puts me in a space. If I can go back, like I always say to like, or I say to the most boring parts of my life, or the most calming parts of my life, where I was the coolest. I was just chilling. I was on easy street. What times were those where I was just nothing was going on, things were cool? I like to look at it like that. If I could find that space of where my body was completely relaxed, I was able to completely rest. I was able to completely chill out, not have a care in the world. If I could find those moments, pull from that, figure out, am I in that space now? What can I do to get to that space? Who do I need to talk to get to that space again? Because if you can take the time within yourself and go, I'm not in that space anymore. I don't need to go back to any space, but I need to create new spaces, new realms, new. I need, I want to move on from what I've seen. I have to create new through the people and experiences. If that's where I see it. You can, it's a good, because like I said, you don't always have to meet those people again. Shadow work is not always about meeting. It's about meeting them emotionally, even if you never meet them again personally. Because I hear, like, people talk about, because that's a big one for me, is when I hear people get on these and they talk about certain things, but you can tell they never can really go a little further into it. Because, like, I be wanting to hear, like, hey, you should be doing this thing. Is Yeah, okay, but and how? In what ways? What do shadow work? What the fuck that mean? What does that mean to do? Shadow work. What you mean? So I like to layer it up, try to figure out all that. Finding a free space, pinpointing that, starting from where you're at, figuring out, okay, I feel like this. What makes me feel like this? What can I do about it? I'm seeing these people. They made me feel like this. Is it real? Did they really care? Do I really care? Does it really matter? You start going down those lines, those things, and you start picking it apart. I guess shadow work is not easy, but it's way more difficult if you don't give it a chance, if you don't have an opportunity to open up to it. That's what makes it hard. That's what makes it feel hard. Shadow work is actually not that hard. It's difficult beforehand. It's a lot less difficult to go through it, but it's way better to get through it, to be through it, to be on the other side of it. And this is about to die, so I guess, hey, I made one. I gotta clear some stuff out of this. Smoke gave me dead mind. I'm gonna let it go.